This hour, retired Air Force Wing Commander Patrick Sogbojo urges investigators probing the helicopter crash to focus on what could have caused the chopper to fly that low.
Also, the ZAR forensic test to ascertain the remains of victims of crash to take between 6 to 12 hours.
And state institutions and private organizations lay flowers at the Jubilee Gardens in honor of fallen heroes. It's News Central here on TV3. I'm Kemeni Aman.
And I am Mawena Igbeta. The bulletin starts right now. And this afternoon, a retired Air Force officer, Wing Commander Patrick Sogbojo, is urging investigators probing the helicopter crash to focus on what could have caused the chopper to fly that low. He explains despite helicopters generally maintaining low altitudes, impact with high objects are nearly impossible unless the plane is having a major challenge. He's been speaking on TV3's New Day.
In the onset of any accident, the immediate thing the Air Force or Air Force will put on a board of investigation. And they'll start investigating from the starting point to the point of the accident, assess it, and then give a report. And I think that situation has been done already. The board of inquiry already.
Generally, as a pilot, before you get into the aircraft and take off, we understand there are a series of activities that...
So the first thing you do is to go up to the airplane and you do external inspection of the aircraft. You know, the external factors are also very important. Then when you go into the cockpit, there's pre-start checks that you do. After you finish a pre-start, you start the engine. There's after-start checks you do. If all is okay with you as a pilot, then you have accepted that the airplane, whether it's civil or whether it's military, is good enough to fly.
In terms of the permission that is granted by the control tower, in that analysis, will it include the weather condition?
Yes, they will always give you weather condition. In fact, before you even go up, you yourself will even consult the control tower. You have your map. You know the areas you are flying, you know the heights. All these things are taken in consideration. So the control tower gives you the weather prevailing.
An aspect of the conversation that has to do with such helicopters, we understand they generally fly a bit lower than the other.
Yes, we do fly. They do fly a bit lower. Our flying jet fighters. But then if you look at this particular incident, I don't think any pilot will plan a flight unless this is a specific instructions given you. I don't also think they will have any tree in Ghana here which is about 1,000, 2,000 feet. That's coming. So definitely you'll be flying above that one, but you'll not go and fly a treetop. So I think what you have to find out, what happened for the airplane to have come down to hit an aircraft or the rotor to touch. Because helicopter, the power to be in the air is the rotors on top of it.
And as we continue to seek answers as to why the chopper came down on that fateful Wednesday, the word black box has been thrown about a lot. But what is it and how crucial could it be to the investigations? And this is very important to know, coming on the back that we now have found this black box. Here's an explainer by Judith Brown on what this black box is at all.
In the aftermath of the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 individuals, including 2 cabinet ministers in Ghana, the search for answers begins. At the heart of this investigation is a critical component that can provide valuable insights into the incident, the black box. Well, the black box, despite its name, is actually a highly sophisticated recording device that plays a crucial role in investigating aviation incidents. It's a device that has been instrumental in unraveling the mysteries of some of the most catastrophic events in aviation history. The black box consists of 2 main components: the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. The flight data recorder is a constant monitoring device which records flight trajectory, speed, altitude, engine performance, control surface positions, and system statuses. While the cockpit voice recorder, on the other hand, is like a witness to the events unfolding in the cockpit. It captures conversations between the pilots as well as any other sounds or warnings that may have occurred during the flight. So why was the black box created? The concept of the black box was first introduced in the 1950s and since then has evolved significantly. The Australian scientist Dr. David Waring, who worked on the investigation of the first commercial jet airliner crashes, invented the first practical flight recorder. The data recorded by the black box is a treasure trove of information that can provide critical insights into the events leading up to the crash. You can think of it as a watchdog. By analyzing the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, data investigators can reconstruct the flight path, identify system failures, understand pilot actions, and determine the cause of the crash. And so in this tragic case of the helicopter crash, the black box data will be crucial in determining the cause of the incident and providing insights into the events leading up to the tragedy. By analyzing the data, investigators can work towards preventing similar events in the future. The black box has played a crucial role in numerous aviation accident investigations worldwide. From the Air France Flight 447 crash, which resulted in the loss of 228 lives, to the US Airways Flight 1549 miracle on the Hudson River, the black box has provided critical information that has helped investigators piece together the events leading up to the incident. The black box is more than just a device. It's a window into the past, a tool that can help us understand what went wrong and how we can prevent similar incidents in the future. The search for answers continues, and the black box will play a vital role in uncovering the truth behind this tragic event. As we reflect on the lives lost, it is the hope of Ghanaians that the investigation will provide closure for the state and, most importantly, the families of the deceased. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Even whether or not investigations can bring closure, but as you may be well aware, the 8 persons who died in the military aircraft traveled in a Z9EH helicopter. Here's a News Desk story on the Chinese-manufactured military helicopter.
The Z9EH military helicopter is a multi-role aircraft based on the Eurocopter Dolphin design with adaptation tailored for modern military demands. With a top speed of over 300 kilometers per hour and a flight range of up to 800 kilometers, the Z9EH is built for rapid troop deployment, search and rescue operations, and emergency medical evacuations, especially in difficult terrain and combat zones. The aircraft is powered by twin turboshaft engines and features a 4-blade main rotor system for stability and low noise. It has a critical advantage during stealthy troop movements and night operations. Inside, it accommodates up to 10 personnel or can be quickly reconfigured for stretcher-bound patients and onboard medical care. While not equipped for heavy firepower, the Z9EH can be fitted with surveillance equipment and light defensive armaments, making it ideal for patrol, reconnaissance, and border security. It is low cost, easy to maintain, and performs well in both hot and high altitude conditions. In recent years, the Z9EH has been deployed in disaster response efforts, including food relief and earthquake rescue missions, proving its worth not just in war zones, but in humanitarian emergencies as well.
Now, Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni has cautioned against politicizing the tragic helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 8 men on Wednesday. Speaking after he led a team to lay flowers in honor of the deceased, he urged the public to remain respectful and supportive during this moment of collective grief. He called for national unity.
Yes, this is a national tragedy. And yesterday, on behalf of the Judicial Service and the Judiciary, I released a statement of condolence to His Excellency the President, the government and the people, and the bereaved families. Now we are here to commiserate with the President while laying our flowers. And as I said yesterday in my statement, which was actually repeated by the President in his somber address to the people, these gallant men died in the course of duty. And so we should forge ahead in national unity and not politicize their deaths. We should all have recourse to their legacy they left behind and then serve our nations to the best of our ability. Thank you.
As the Acting Chief Justice. And our man, Christian Yale, is still at the Floral Tribute site and joins us right now. Christian, thank you. Talk to us about who's visited the place to lay flowers.
All right, Eric. So right now, when you come here, a number of persons and dignitaries have come to pay respect and to lay their flowers in honor of the departed souls. I can confirm to you that just a while ago, a number of men of God, Prophet Bedukobi, Prophet Nigel Gazy, and a number of them came. Also, we've had a number of diplomatic members from the diplomatic corps who have been here as well to pay their respect. But I have right now with me Elvis Efriankra, who is an integral member of the government, here with me for some few words. First of all, I want to get your thoughts on this tragic incident. What do you have to say?
Sometimes there's not, you just can't find the words. It's, there are diverse emotions. First, disbelief, then shock, then shed tears, then you become numb, you are confused, you ask yourself a lot of questions. So it's not something that you can process in a few days. The emotions are still evolving. You'll be there, then something will flash in your mind, a conversation, an encounter you had with any of them. It's not easy. It's a challenge.
But one thing that has come up over the period has been the prophecies. You know, when these things happen, then you later have videos popping up almost everywhere with different prophets who seem to have predicted what was due to happen, yet we could not seek or get cure to them. How do you respond to some of these and how these issues or videos are circulated when such moments of grief occur?
So, barely 2 weeks ago, His Excellency the President appointed me as his envoy for interfaith and ecumenical relations. That means that issues that have to do with the clergy, our imams and all that, Christian, Muslim, traditional, I represent the President. And so, incidentally, the day before the incident, we had drafted a letter that we were going to send to all the ecumenical bodies, informing them that this office has been established. And therefore, going forward, any prophet, pastor, man of God, church member who sees any vision, prophecy concerning the government or anybody in government leadership, they should contact the office. We've provided an address, we've provided a WhatsApp number so that we can handle all those things and engage. I feel very sad when people bunch all the men of God together, because I've been working with them all my life, over 40 years. And there are genuine and good and sincere men of God and prophets. It's unfortunate that because of the deeds of some of them, people bunch all of them. There are genuine prophets, there are genuine men of God. And so we're also appealing to our men of God. Now, when it comes to very sensitive national issues, issues that have to do with the nation, the leadership of the country, we have provided this channel and this platform. We humbly ask them that they should use that channel, because sometimes the way the issues will come out is also problematic, and that is what leads to the reaction and the backlash. So now we've created a formal structure and a system by which people can now channel all these prophecies and visions and messages. And we have a team of very competent pastors, prayers, prophets, evangelists, and we'll engage them. And what needs to be done will be done. When it comes to spiritual matters, it's not everything that has to be in the public domain. There are many things that happen on the quiet, behind the scenes. So we urge that everybody should cooperate and collaborate with us.
Thank you so much. Eric, I still have a number of dignitaries here, and talking about prophecies and the rest, let me see if I'm able to briefly and quickly engage some of the prophets around. I know that there are a number of them. Prophet Nigel Gazy, for instance, who is here. Prophet, just some few words on the issue, the tragedy that we are dealing with.
It's unfortunate. Let's take prophecy seriously. Let's take our personal relationship with the Lord Jesus seriously.
But taking prophecy seriously, one concern is how it is communicated and what you do to intervene.
Yeah, we'll try our best, but after the prophet has prophesied, intercessors must take over. The recipient of the prophecy must also be serious about the prophet. Let's not trash prophecy, because prophecy is real. God rules in affairs of men, and whether you like it or not, there is evil. And so let's do our best not to trivialize and trash prophets.
But how sad are you?
I'm very sad. That is why I'm here. I have a lot of things doing, but I'm here. We are praying, and we are praying that this will not be for the nation again. Thank you, sir.
All right, and so you just heard from Prophet Nigel Gazy, who is of the view that we need not trash prophecies, but just like I asked him, the issue really has to do sometimes with the manner in which these prophecies are communicated. That is of a grave concern, but you have Elvis Efriankra tell you that, see, the government has set up a special committee or group of people that deals with all of these religious issues when they come up. And so, as and when they come up, they would have a way to communicate them in a way that would help the channel in which they should pass through them. Eric, we've had, like I told you earlier, right now there is a flute performance, one who is known popularly for that, who is more or less like providing some interludes as and when new dignitaries come in to pay their respect to the deceased. And so that is the situation right now, and that is what you see right now playing out at the forecourt of the Jubilee House. I would still want to try to get some interviews done. I still want to engage few people on all that it is that we are experiencing today, the tragedy that has befallen the country and the rest thereof.
We should put in place the measures so that such a tragic event doesn't occur again.
Well, I'm no expert in this field. There's been speculation that weather could have been an issue. I hesitate to make any recommendations as I'm not a transportation expert, so I'll leave that to the experts. But I just hope that a very thorough review process of what happened and why is engaged upon, and that the proper things are done once those results have been released.
Thank you.
So I want to get an understanding your designation and which team you are with.
My name is Nanakwe Kuindom. I am the president of Group Indom Ghana.
Okay. This is a big tragedy that has dealt the country a big blow. How have you received the news, and how is it like for you?
It was devastating. We've lost pillars of the society. I mean, I was speaking to someone who's very close to me, and she mentioned that even though she's never met one of the ministers that was there, she had been watching him on TV. She considered him to be such an important asset to the nation. even though she wasn't a member of his political party. So yes, it really hit us hard, and it made us recall other incidents in the recent past where people have lost their lives in helicopter accidents. I believe there was another crash in Kenya just very recently. So it was very difficult for us.
But going forward, especially when the president has already instituted an inquiry into this, what are some of the immediate proposals that you would want to make, the kind of due diligence you want us to play going forward?
Well, I think that when the results of that inquiry come out, they need to be followed through. I'm not an expert in transportation. People have been talking about proper checks before flights take off, but I know that the Ghana Air Force is a professional organization, and there's no reason that we should doubt their ability to do their job. I mean, they fly helicopters all the time, and incidents like this don't happen. So I think the important thing is to find out exactly what happened and to follow the recommendations that are released properly.
Thank you so much. And so there you have it, Eric. Still, there are a number of dignitaries and men of God who are arriving to lay their flowers here. Let me still try to see if I can engage you briefly. Just briefly, I know you're about to move, but your few words on all of this tragedy that we're dealing with right now.
It's a tragedy, as you have already said, and we must come together as a one people, one nation, deal with this disaster, and then leave the investigation to the experts. It's about time we don't point finger at somebody, put a blame on somebody. Let's come together. Let's handle the situation maturely. After that, we move forward as a nation. Thank you.
Let me pick your thought quickly on the manner in which some of these prophetic messages have come. You are a stalwart in this ministry. What do you have to say, the manner in which it is communicated and the action that are taken upon them thereof?
I believe from now on, my Korean prophets must know how we will present a national message. The packaging is the most important thing. Picking a point from somebody's tragedy doesn't necessarily make you a major prophet. When God gave it to us, the way and manner we go about it will make people accept it or reject it. Thank you.
But why is it that it always seems to be like it is always the bad news, the bad prophecies that we get? We don't get to get the other side of things. What is the missing link here?
Now, you know very well that in this society, the bad news spread more than the good. That is why at times some of them, they focus on the bad because it's only the bad that will cause them to trend. Yeah, so it's about time we focus on the good, the positive, and not the negative. Ghanaians want negative news too much, and we pretend to be Christians.
Finally, your comforting words for the families bereaved.
It is well with their soul. It is well. It shall pass.
Prophet, beyond it is well, it is very hard to sometimes accept it is well in a situation like this. Don't you agree?
The Bible said, the good, the bad, and the ugly, we should give thanks to the Lord. So it is well.
Thank you so much. Prophet Badukobi, right?
Friends, Amakwata.
Amakwata, yes. Forgive me. You know, when the faces are...
That's my colleague Christian Yale at the frontage of the Jubilee House, where dignitaries continue to come in quite some numbers. We've seen pastors. We've seen reps from Group Indum as well. A short while ago, we had the judiciary present, the prison service as well present. And for persons who cannot make it there, some of them are issuing statements. One of such statements from the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, who have also this afternoon expressed condolences to the families of the gallant 8 and praying their sympathies for them as well. It continues to be a very difficult spectacle, particularly for the families of these 8 and the president and the government. Very, very difficult time, Kemeni. You'd agree with me.
Absolutely. And there is no getting over this anytime soon. You know, like the speakers from the Jubilee Gardens have said, we look forward to how quickly the investigations are concluded so that the entire nation, but especially the families, can have closure.
Absolutely.
Whatever closure looks like for this nation.
It will be difficult closure, and I mean, I cannot fathom the position they are in. But if we get the details, even, what does it do? It doesn't assuage the pain, the emptiness, and all of that they will be feeling right now, and that's the difficulty that really you cannot comprehend.
Indeed. Now, President John Dramani Mahama says the armed forces has begun a full-scale investigations into Wednesday's helicopter crash. He was speaking during a national address on Thursday.
And as we mourn, questions about the cause of this tragedy are only natural and important. And I want to assure the families and the nation that the Ghana Armed Forces has initiated a full and transparent investigation into the circumstances of this crash. An investigative board of inquiry has been set up to investigate the cause of the crash. The flight data and cockpit voice recorders have both been retrieved. All 8 of the bodies of our departed comrades have been retrieved, and the government is in close touch with the bereaved families about identification of the bodies and final interment. In this moment of national grief, let us remember that we are above all Ghanaians, united not just by our nationality, but by our shared hope, our shared humanity, and now our shared sorrow. Let us set aside our differences and offer our collective compassion to the bereaved families.
Mr. President, speaking late last night was a difficult watch as well, but still on this subject, samples of the remains of the 8 victims who died in that military crash on Wednesday have been flown to South Africa for DNA analysis to help identify each of the bodies for a befitting burial. The head of forensic analysis at the Criminal Investigations Department is leading the delegation to South Africa for the forensic analysis. My colleague Gordon Asidiba has more.
From the Jubilee Lounge of the Kotoka International Airport here in Accra, in front of me, you can see scenes filled with grief. Jata private jet has arranged this transportation for the mortal remains of the 8 victims who were involved in the tragic Z9 military helicopter crash that occurred yesterday in the dense forest of the Adanse Krofrom in the Ashanti region, where all of this happened. It's a movement that has brought the entire nation to a standstill. This evening, we have been told that the charge remains. Samples of them, of the deceased bent beyond recognition, are being flown to South Africa for urgent DNA testing. It is the only way, as it stands, to confirm the exact identities of those on board this aircraft that has led us to this rather unfortunate news. The remains are being flown out on the Jata private jet, and we'll continue to follow this developing story and provide updates on the results of the DNA testing and upcoming funeral arrangements as well. But for now, from here at the Jubilee Lounge, it is a moment of reflection and a call for national unity in the face of profound grief.
To speed up the investigation, obviously we need to do further examination and investigation just for the avoidance of doubt.
Back to the Jubilee Gardens, where Christian Yale is speaking with GCB Board Chair Joshua Alabi.
It goes to all friends and sympathizers. I'm here with my 3 colleagues who were also very close to them. Fairly well, Dr. Omani Boamau, who I worked with when I was the campaign manager and he was the director of elections. Fairly well, my brother Mutala from Tamale, very close. And just Tuesday, last Tuesday, I was with Dr. Sapon. Little did I know our conversation was to see him off. To repeat again, God bless all of us. Amen. Now, for our gallant soldiers, they died in service. We shall forever remember them. Our colleague Abuaji, you did your part. And may your gentle soul rest in peace. Thank you very much.
We'll continue to bring you more voices from the Jubilee Gardens, where dignitaries continue to pay flower tributes to the men we lost on Wednesday. In the meantime, let's take you back to that moment when the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak, said forensic tests to be conducted on the remains of the 8 men who died in that helicopter crash on Wednesday. He told us that it will take some 12 hours to complete. He spoke to us shortly after a flight carrying the remains of the victims took off to South Africa.
To speed up the investigation, obviously we need to do further examination and investigation just for the avoidance of doubt. And some of the forensic that needs to be done, taking samples, how to be done outside the country. So that's why we are trying to fast track, and you see all that. But I want to thank the families sincerely for all the cooperation that we've had from them and the support they've shown. We know they are grieving, they are in a hurry to have their family members so that they can attend them. But we are happy that they are cooperating with us, because it's not just about burying. It's beyond burying, trying to establish what happened, how things went, so that we avoid it into the future. And together with the Health Minister, the Minister for Lands, who is now acting as the Defense Minister, we've been working around the clock just to speed up everything. Aside everything, you are also a human being. So yes, we need to be able to hold on, to be able to move our country forward. You cannot continue crying forever, but we want to assure the family we are with them. We share in their pain, we grieve with them, and we are hoping that the good Lord will strengthen all of us in this difficult time.
Who is leading the team to South Africa?
Our forensic, the head of forensic at the police, CID, is the one leading that.
That's the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mubarak. Now, organised labour, they've expressed deep sorrow over the loss of 8 persons in that helicopter crash. In a strongly worded statement, the leadership called for the immediate grounding and comprehensive assessment of all military helicopters. Meanwhile, organised labour has called for a declaration of a state of emergency on Galamsey, or the nation risks losing more lives.
General of TUC Joshua Ansan says investigations must be thorough and transparent to restore public confidence in military aviation safety. He was also concerned about the Galamsey menace.
This issue about Galamsey indirectly has already started killing us. Had it not been this Galamsey, I wouldn't think that these ministers would be traveling to Obuasi yesterday. So it's a call for action for all of us to come together and ensure that we nip this Galamsey menace to the nip. We are all aware of what is happening to the presidential jet. It is time for us to call a spade a spade. Let's ground this plane and buy a new one for our president. If you buy it for the president, it's not for NDC, it's not for MPP, it's for the country. Their safety is very, very, very important.
President of Funagrat, Enje Kabonu, who emphasized the urgent need to reassess all aircraft used for official duties.
Especially where we procure them, for whether we are procuring the right ones, whether servicing is being done at the right time, timeously, regularly. You see, sometimes we are people who sometimes, you let me go and come and we'll do it. Oh, it flew yesterday, it can fly today. If the schedule review work or review repairs is supposed to be every 2 months, do we regularly follow that every 2 months review? And maybe we need to reassess these choppers and see whether they are fit for purpose.
The General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Tanko Musa, urged the President to immediately declare a state of emergency on Galamsey or risk losing more lives as a result of the menace.
Mr. President, where we are, even if it will take us a state of emergency to correct the Galamsey thing, let us get it done. Because we cannot allow the blood of Major Mama to go like that. We cannot allow the blood of these 8 patriots to go like that. No. If for nothing at all, the death of these 8 people should urge us on to take the Galamsey menace by force and get it corrected. This one, it should be a journey of no return, Mr. President. We need to fight this particular thing and correct it. The time to say enough is now. Look at our tears. The whole country is in tears. Children have become fatherless. Why? Wives have become widows. I mean, breadwinners have disappeared. And people now begin to ask, what do they have next? Mr. President, I rest my case. And I say that may their souls rest in peace.
And indeed, that pain resonated with members of parliament and government officials who could not hold back their tears on Thursday when they visited families of the 8 men who perished in the tragic helicopter crash on Wednesday. Books of condolences have been opened at the residence of Dr. Murtala Muhammad and Dr. Omane Boama, where hundreds of family members and loved ones continue to mourn in ruthless pain. Christian Yale has more.
Members of Parliament, especially from the majority caucus, on Thursday thronged the house of Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Muhammad, as well as the house of Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boama, to condole with the family and to share in their pain. Many who had gathered bowed in pain. Tears flowed and low spirit hanged all over the place.
Presidency has started investigating as to how the whole thing happened. We pray that whatever will come out of the investigation will be a lesson to Ghana. A lesson to Ghana so that this will not hit this country again.
I always ask this question, when will death come out one day and say, today I'm satisfied, I won't eat again? Death have eaten too much of our people.
It is quite unfortunate. Since yesterday, I have not been of myself. Come to think of the way he's lost his life, working for the country, for God and country, and having to experience this. The news is very devastating.
The Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Al-Hassan Suhini, in behalf of the family, welcomed his colleagues to the house and ushered them inside to even have a word or two with the widow left behind.
Regarding the passing of Murtala, 2 weeks ago he passed a message to my PA. He was on a flight with him, and I was waiting to see him on Friday before Parliament went on recess. Unfortunately, I was on a committee work, and so I couldn't come to Parliament before the sitting was adjourned. I'm looking for my brother to give him the response. Where can I find him?
When Allah creates life, He creates death as well. This is how Murtala was destined to leave the world. We pray that Allah accepts his soul in Jannah.
They died fighting to stop a cause which is Galamsey. Shouldn't this be enough wake up to all those who are involved in that business that enough is enough?
Murtala was one of its kind in Parliament, very knowledgeable and intelligent. And so we just pray that God Almighty find a place in his bosom. He gives and he takes. We cannot question him so much.
For his part, the former finance minister and MP for Karaga, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, called for a comprehensive parliamentary probe into the incident.
I would like to propose that there is a comprehensive parliamentary inquiry into this accident. It's a major accident. Ghana is not the same with the passing of these great men. of our country. We can't let it just pass.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dominic Ayini, also visited the house of Dr. Murtala Mohammed, where a book of condolence has already been opened. He signed it.
God, this is really very difficult. You know, in our politics, integrity is a very rare commodity. But this young man had it all. He loved this country. He loved the NDC as a political tradition. He spoke true to power, and that is what we need.
If the murder of Major Muhammad didn't get us to stop Galamsey in our country, the tragic loss of these 8 gallant, patriotic men should help us bring a finality, to the destruction of our water bodies, of our forests.
It's still News Central here on TV, so we will now take you back to the Jubilee Gardens, where we understand NADMO is there to pay flower tribute to the fallen heroes. We recall that NADMO lost its deputy director or coordinator, Samuel Abwaji. Let's go back then.
Yesterday, as an organization, I sent a delegation to Samuel Abwaji's family. They are back in Accra. They went to Obuasi. We will, as an institution, participate actively in all state directions regarding ceremonies to honor these gallant men. As I said, we call on every Ghanaian to stand and be part of these activities. Thank you very much, the media.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love Flamingo paint because it is small paint that takes huge area, meaning more profit for me. Great value for money.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle, from the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital,
from the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom,
reporting from Sunyani,
from the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds, the moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News, leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
You're back here on News Central, and we're just moving away from all of the morning briefly and bringing you some additional stories this afternoon, where Société Générale has donated medical equipment, the National Cardiothoracic Center at the Kolobu Teaching Hospital, to help in the management of cardiac-related ailments. The gesture forms part of the bank's commitment to improving health outcomes in the country.
The items donated to the center included a cardiac defibrillator, an ECG machine, and a 4-patient cardiac monitor. Speaking at the event, the Deputy Managing Director of Société Générale Ghana, Kwame Abe, highlighted additional contributions made by the bank and emphasized their dedication to giving back to the community.
As a bank, we do diverse things. We provide potable water to the communities that we work with. Last 2 years, we were here to renovate the ward at surgeries. It is something that we will continue to do as part of our existence in the community.
He further explained that the donation aligns with the company's passion for supporting healthcare and addressing critical needs in society, particularly in life-saving areas like cardiology.
This is one of the special initiatives that we do supporting the healthcare. It is also part of meeting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Goal number 3, good healthcare, is one that today we have responded to, but we do other initiatives for the communities that we work with.
Director of the National Cardiothoracic Center, Dr. Eko Inshua Mensah, noted the equipment will significantly enhance the hospital's capacity to respond to cardiac emergencies and improve patients' care outcomes.
These equipment are necessary in the process of diagnosis, in the process of treatment, and then monitoring the aftercare. And they will significantly increase our capacity to be able to deliver heart care to all our patients and also emergency services to the clients who present to us.
Société Générale Ghana is a subsidiary of the Global Société Générale Group, a leading commercial bank in Ghana with over 40 branches nationwide. Listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, it offers a wide range of banking services for individuals, businesses, and SMEs.
Now, more than 1,300 complaints have been made against the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ghana Water Company Limited by the consumer public in the Volta and Oti regions for the first and second quarters of 2025. This figure, according to the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, marks a high turn in complaints against the two companies as against what has been recorded for the same period in the last 5 years. Volta region correspondent Faisal Abdul-Idrisu joins us with some details on this story. Faisal, can you tell us what really constitutes this amount of complaints? What are the complaints about?
Kamini, between January to somewhere around June, the early start of the year, there were issues about the breakdown in the supply of water to residents and households in Ho and other parts of the Volta region. This also forms part of the over 1,300 complaints we are talking about. And of course, the issue of low voltage, poor power supply to households. You will recall that at some point, residents here in the region complained about the fact that they could not use electrical gadgets and other gadgets that rely largely on power supply from the Electricity Company of Ghana. And so these complaints, low voltage, intermittent power outages, among others, constitute the over 1,300 complaints lodged against these two utility companies. The Electricity Company of Ghana alone recorded some 1,180 complaints and then 173 against the Ghana Water Company Limited. Now, if you look at these figures across the last 5 years, you realize that this very one marks a high term because in 2021, there were just 647 complaints against the companies. In 2022, 580. In 2023, there were 511. And in 2024, there were 699 complaints. This, the Public Utility Regulatory Commission is saying that as a matter of an indication of the fact that the consumer out there was not really getting value for money. Let's listen to Mr. Philip Agbazido, the regional manager for PURC.
from January to June. In fact, our complaint statistics has gone up, and we receive 1,348, and against the previous mid-years. And what accounted for the increment or the upsurge was as a result of the fact that this year, from May, June, that way we had issue with the outages in Volta region, OT. We have problem with quality of service, basically on the outages face off, and then the voltage. You all remember that at that period, Grico was having an issue at Asiepe. So every evening we have issue with the voltage situation to the extent that our electrical gadgets could not even work.
All right, indeed. Faisal, let's talk about the involvement of the PURC and what these numbers also mean for service delivery.
Yes, so if we look at these numbers, the face value of it indicates that the utility companies are rendering poor service, if you look at these numbers. But the good news is that the PRC is saying that they now have a platform where the consumer public is able to lodge complaint. Now, in the recent past, some communities could go off. They will not have electricity for days, weeks, and then even ECG will not be aware. The PRC will not be aware. But now that a platform has been created and the consumer public is able to lodge complaint, the over 1,300 complaints that we are talking about, the PURC has indicated.
Very well, Faisal, I'm afraid we would have to end our conversation here, but thank you so much for the report. We're headed now for the Jubilee Gardens, where we are learning that the leader for Movement for Change, Alan Tremantin, has arrived.
The entire nation. We are comforted by the fact that these compatriots served our nation well, and they died in the line of duty. As Christians, as Muslims, we believe that in moments of grief such as this, that we are inspired and comforted by Holy Scripture, and that whether we live or die, we do so for the Lord. And we pray that the good Lord will receive the souls of our kinsmen in his bosom. May they rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Thank you, Mr.
Well, that is Alan Kojo Tremantin, presidential candidate in the 2024 race for Movement for Change. Now, away from that, the Rubber Processors Association of Ghana is calling for urgent security intervention to stop what it describes as the rampant illegal export of raw rubber from the country. The association warns that the unchecked activity is crippling local rubber factories, putting thousands of jobs at risk and threatening the government's industrialization drive, particularly the 24-hour economy. Here's a report by Stephen Kujo.
So I am standing here at Noribes, a rubber processing factory in Dompem No. 1 in the Wasa East District. On a regular day, this factory should be buzzing with activity, process over 40 tons of rubber daily. But today the machines are silent. The factory is virtually shut down. According to workers here, the inactivity is due to the critical low shortage of raw rubbers, a problem they blame on the increasing illegal export of raw rubbers by some foreign nationals, particularly the Chinese and the Indians. The impact has been severe as production has dropped to just 20 tons a day, and the factory can no longer run its usual 3-shift system. Some workers they have been forced to stay home for up to 16 days at a stretch simply because there's no rubber to process.
The shipment of the raw materials is affecting us seriously because this is a very good example of 24-hour economy. We run a 3-shift system here, morning, afternoon, and night, and we work Monday to Saturday. And now that they are doing raw material exporting, in fact, it is affecting us seriously because we don't get the maximum rubber that we need to process. Yes. We are 1 ton factory. So in a day, I think 24 hours, we produce raw material of 40 tons. So we have to be able to receive more than 40 tons of raw material, but we are not getting. So it is affecting us. Even July, for instance, stay home for 16 solid days.
7 rubber processing factories operate in Ghana, but one has recently shut down due to a shortage of cab lamps. To prevent further collapse, RUPAC is urging the Tree Crop Development Authority to strictly enforce LI 2471, which bans the export of raw rubber.
TCDA should collaborate with the security agencies to do the enforcement, because you can't tell me that there is no rubber processing factory in Tema. We all know for a fact, and there's rubber going on the motorway, and you tell me that, oh, once it's going to Tema, if somebody is taking his rubber to Tema, I can't do anything about it. We are appealing, and that is why we are appealing to TCDA and other governmental agencies to come to our aid. It is a fact. Nobody will buy rubber and go and store it in the yard at the Tema port.
Industry players say curbing illegal raw rubber export could boost Ghana's foreign exchange revenue.
All rubber processors, we export the technically specified rubber, and we bring in the foreign exchange back into our country. So it is another source of our country getting foreign exchange to support something like the gold board that we are doing. Indigenous Ghanaians that have invested in the processing of rubber. So we all bring the foreign exchange back into our country.
As enforcement agencies and regulators come under pressure to act, the future of Ghana's rubber processing sector and its contribution to the 24-hour economy hangs in the balance. Stephen Kujo, TV3 News, Wasa East.
Well, now it's time for us to go.
Absolutely. TV3 Reality Catch-Up next on your television, but do keep in mind, as and when a lot more persons come through the Jubilee Gardens, we'll be bringing you details of that as the nation continues in morning. I am Mawen Agbeta.
And I am Kemeni Amana. I'll see you later tonight. Bye-bye for now.